Hello, episode 2, Life After. Welcome, Mr. Marc Albrighton.
Thank you very much.
So thanks for coming on, mate. Obviously, we've kind of known each other for a long time now. Obviously, I grew up round the corner from you. So I'm probably your clan to fame, in all fairness. But yeah, we won't go there. But no, in all seriousness, what a career. Do you know how many games you played?
No idea.
No.
400 and something maybe.
Yeah.
400 something. Yeah, no idea.
And it started early, didn't it?
Yeah, started when I started playing when I was maybe 5. I was always kicking a ball in the house and stuff, and then it was like 5 or 6. Went up Woodhouse, playing some mini soccer thing.
Do you want that red grass up there?
The red grass, mate. I've had a few burns from that red grass.
Yeah. You're all picking up the stones, aren't you?
Yeah.
So he's 5 years old kicking a ball, yeah?
5 years old. Yeah, 5 years old kicking a ball on a pitch. My dad used to run for Seco Football Club by Drayton Manor. So we always used to go down there. And
Still like the moustache a bit strong.
he looked well, pulled it off. But yeah, when he was coaching the team there, I'd always you run on the pitch at half time, boot balls in the goal.
Yeah.
There was a few of us. So did all that, and then so when at Woodhouse when I was about 6 maybe, this mini soccer thing, and then just moved up the ages, and then finally got signed for a team.
When did you realise it was good? I don't know, that's a real simple question, but
At that mini soccer thing.
really,
Yeah.
So you're a bit like, was it sort of like side eyes from the adults, as if say, was this kid kind of thing?
Yeah, well, they put me in the group for my age, and then within, I think it was like 10 minutes, they'd moved me up to the bigger lads, and then even in that group, I was sort of just, I was so greedy back then. I was just dribbling in and out. I wouldn't pass the ball.
Head down.
My dad says, right, for every goal you score, you can have an Everton mint. He used to keep Everton mint in his car. So he says, every goal you score. And in the end, he was getting silly. He was like, I've got to stop this. Yeah. He says, I got to stop this. So yeah, it was in that sort of period.
Do you know what I remember though? I played back to Swiss when I was younger, and it would mean you'd get played a match and you get tickets for the Villa, and again, don't say anything because I've been down the Villa. But it was stuff like that. It was proper incentives, not just sort of like you get a cap after your teammates and stuff. I feel like it was a bit better then, but your dad just wanted to see you score more goals by the sound of it. But yeah, so in terms of the step up then, from sort of going kicking around up at Woodhouse, getting signed, just getting looked at.
Yeah, I played for a few local teams. I played for like Claremont Rovers. I played for Milo Monarchs, was probably where I had the longest spell, which made quite a few friends there, and we had a trip to Blackpool as well, and then it was a little tournament. Missed a penalty in the semi-final, put it on the beach. Never forgot.
Still there.
But yeah, and then it was soon after that I sort of started getting interest, and there was a little bit from West Brom, and then Villa came, and it was just straight away I was hooked. I was like, this is me. Yeah, it's me.
Because you're quite small, weren't you? You've always been sort of like one of the smaller players. And I remember having a knock around with you when we was kids, because I think you knew some people that I knew in terms of like, just going over the field and having a knock around, and I think we snuck onto the field at Green Acres Primary School, and you'd have been like this. I'm sort of one of the older players. I remember looking over, see you pinging the ball and thinking, you could fucking stay away from that. Like brother Marking sort of thing, but you could just see it in you, in all fairness, and never forget. And you were always like that kid that sort of people knew you were going to do well. I don't know what it was like. I remember speaking to my brother and sort of saying, you could always see it in him. And I think, did other people sort of allude to that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It was, I used to get kicked quite a lot. I think it didn't help, like the way I played then. Like I say, I was greedy. I just wanted to take players on. I just wanted to skip past people. And I'd just be getting booted left, right and centre. And because I was small and that, like it was, like it hurt. But it didn't really bother me. I loved it. Like I did love it.
You'd get
I weren't like an angry kid. Like I weren't wanting to scrap. Like I just wanted to get up and get the ball again. I just wanted to play football. That's like, which I think helped me in the long term.
Okay, so Villa. Was it the whole sort of sit down at the table with your parents there and all that business, or was it sort of a bit more?
No, it weren't, to be honest. It was so I'd been there 6 weeks. When our 6 week trial were after the 6 weeks, I had a decision. There was me and another lad that signed on the same night. We had the Birmingham Mail come down. They took a photo of us, and that was about it. Like, signed a couple of forms, and that was it. And then I was into it. But already by then, because I'd been there 6 weeks, I was well into it. Like, it was the best. I just couldn't wait. I was at school thinking, I just want to get to football.
You're Villa mad, ain't you?
Villa mad.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. As a kid, like,
as a kid.
That was me. That was me.
Well, I mean, I had the odd bit of blues, to be honest, but it weren't the one that you wanted to publicise, and it never has been, has it? Let's face it. But okay, so in terms of players that you were playing with as a youngster, is there any that would sort of be worth mentioning now that have come through? Because let's have it right, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard.
Yeah, I think probably when I was that young, the main one would have been Daniel Sturridge, who's obviously gone on to Chelsea, Man City.
Just that can't he?
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah, he does.
Was he done the hours, mate? When he sung Usher, was it, with Mark Albrighton? That's just off his egg, isn't it? Watching him and Keno, mate, on the telly.
Yeah,
it's absolute gold, isn't it?
It's brilliant. He's that character. He was bubbly back then. He was the main man.
Is he Dean's son?
So it's Dean's nephew.
Right.
So he had football in the family. I think his dad was called Mick. I think he used to play. He might have been at Blues.
Simon's used to play for us.
Yeah.
Scored in the Leyland.
Dean's quite stocky, weren't he? He was quite
he was.
Dan was
really, like, honest. Like, so I thought I could, like, hit a ball. I thought I had power. He was another level. His left foot, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So he was probably the main one then. And then growing up, like, once we got through to, like, youth team and reserves and stuff, that group, there was quite a few from there, and even now that are playing, there must have been sort of 7 or 8 from that group that have gone on, like, made careers out of the game. So we had a good group, and it's good to see, because we won quite a bit back then. We won sort of all the youth leagues and the reserve leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had a really good group. I think we got to the semi-final of the Youth Cup. Got knocked out by Chelsea, but during that period, there was just some good players in that side.
In your opinion, what's the difference between making it and not? And I know there can be some luck involved. I know there can be an element of... I mean, one player that sticks in my mind is Ashley Williams from Belgrave. He played... It was the same year as my brother, and I didn't see that in him. I'll be honest, 'cause I used to watch him a lot. And I remember I played for Tamworth and played against Hensford, and he was there, and I thought, fucking hell, he's big now. And I don't know whether they just bolted the rest onto him or what, but obviously he went on and had a mint career. But what do you think it was for you that sort of... I mean, I know dedication.
Yeah, I think there's a few things for me. I think when I was younger, throughout my whole career really, but especially when I was younger, I sacrificed everything, everything. I was boring, didn't have a life outside. I had my mates and stuff, but I never went out, never did things after
Never
school.
you see about enough.
I was just this, like, especially once the Villa signed me, I was just like tunnel visioned, like it's all. And at the time, it didn't even, like, people say, oh, you have to make sacrifice in football and stuff. And at the time, I was like, I don't even feel like I'm sacrificing anything, because I want this so much. Like, so I didn't even see it as a sacrifice. It's not until you get older and you probably, when you've got kids and stuff, then it becomes a bit of a sacrifice, the things that you're missing out on then. But at the time, I was just obsessed with it. I was obsessed with football. I watched football. I tried to learn as much as I can about football. I constantly played football. And then from then it was just like hard work, making sure, you can do all these things, but when you're there, you have to work and you have to be resilient, because you're going to get setbacks, you're going to get injuries, people are going to tell you that you're not good enough, people are going to tell you that you're not in the team. So then it's dealing with that. So I feel like mentally I was quite strong in terms of, like, dealing with them setbacks, because like, they do come quite often.
I was going to ask you that, was there ever a point, because you boys at that age, I suppose, get signed year on year, am I right?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you thought, I might be in trouble this season? Am I having a bad one? Or I'm
The
just
biggest year for me, like it was when they was doing scholarships. So up until then, like you say, year on year. And
Is that the bit where, forgive me, you don't get paid, then you do get paid?
Yes, yeah. So
Right, so that's the one.
Yeah, when you go, I think it's when you're 16, so you
Yeah.
leave school, and all of a sudden, right, you're after a 2-year scholarship, and like the money, you get paid, but geez, it was like 80 quid a week or something, which at the time, don't get me wrong, still you're over the moon with it because you got no bills to pay or whatever. So but you're getting paid to play football. It's like incredible.
Yeah.
So the year leading up to that was probably my worst year, like in the academy. Probably a bit of both. I think I had an injury that year. I think I did perform. Probably a little bit nervous.
I was going to say, back in your mind.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit nervous because I thought I leave school at the end of this year. I'd really put school on the back burner. Like school hadn't played a part. Nah, terrible. Like we used to get day release, so I'd only be there sort of at school maybe 3.5 days a week, maybe 3 days a week, because we'd go to Bodymoor Heath training. So school had totally took a back seat, and so if I was thinking, if I don't get this, like what happens there? So managed to get it, and then I really pushed on there, and then soon, sort of, even when I was a first year scholar, I managed to get myself like jump up and go and get on the bench for the reserves and be in and around that, and just being in a football club full time as your job, it was the best.
So, you know, and again, I've always been intrigued by this because I know that it seems all glamorous and whatnot. Could you play for your school team? Were you allowed?
No, I weren't allowed to play for anyone, really. I think I might have had 1, maybe 2 games for my school team, which I probably shouldn't have, but I just couldn't help myself. Like, I love, like, just wanting to play for mates, because that's one thing. So, like, obviously now, like, now I'm retired, whatever, I'll go and play with my mates on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's just for a laugh, for a mess about. And people are saying, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing it?
So you play for a Sunday morning football team now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's because I've never played with my mates. I've never played with my school friends. So I'm going into school on a Monday morning, and they're all talking about Deer Park against Drayton Manor.
Yeah.
And that's the topic of conversation in the classroom. I'm sat there, can't get involved in the conversation because I don't know. I weren't at the game. I was playing against Man United, but no one was like, I can't talk to anyone about that.
Well played.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have done that anyway. But these are the things that I felt like I was missing out on at the time. But I would have changed it for the world, obviously.
And I suppose some of them lads were decent as well. You know, I suppose some of the lads that you came through with at junior level were still decent players. And you'd probably got a lot out of it, wouldn't you? Just going and having a kick around with them and the less serious sort of element of it. But yeah, you wouldn't have changed that for the world, would you?
I think I notice it now, like playing with my mates and like playing with no pressure. Like you can literally go out and just enjoy yourself. If you do something wrong, it don't matter.
Starting every week?
Starting every week at the minute, yeah. Starting every week.
What are you on to?
I've scored 3 and 3, so yeah, I'm
You've got a tally on the veteran.
I'm on top form at the minute. Manager can't drop me.
How are you finding it?
I'm finding it. Hit and miss.
The other team are supposed to be warming up and they're going, suck your Marc Albrighton.
Do you know what? It's. I think we beat a team, might have been 11-1, and that game I hated it because it was just boring. Like, it was boring. It was like not.
I suppose you've never so much
too
that. I assume you might have.
It was just too easy for everyone. It was too easy for the team. I'm not saying that like it was too easy for me, but it was too easy for everyone.
You feel for them, that's a bit like.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But at the same time, like, we played a game sort of a couple of weeks ago, and it was a bit more competitive, and like they had an edge to them, like the other team had an edge to them, and I enjoyed it. Like, I loved it.
Any tasty tackles come your way so far?
Not yet. I played at on Wharton's pitch though, and that's not great. They had to get the dog shit up before.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
But
few hills
there. Yeah. So that's probably the worst.
No,
place
what
to
you
play.
used to. Okay, so you're in the fold then at Villa. You know, the hard work's starting to pay off. What was next?
So I think once I was in full time and once I played for the youth team, made a couple of appearances for the first team, then you want to be in and around the first team. You want to be training. You want to be sort of
What did that
getting
look like at that
recognised.
time, Mark? Who was in there that we...
So you had like Gareth Barry, James Milner, Stilian Petrov, Gabby Agbonlahor, Ashley Young, Stewie Downing was there for a bit.
Some good wingers then.
Yeah, some top wingers. To be fair, I was lucky in that sense that, don't get me wrong, like they were in the way for me building up, but I learnt so much. I thought, especially like James Milner, like the ultra pro, like people talk about it now, like how he's still playing. He did take me under his wing, and he sort of. Ashley Young was the same. Like he was exactly the same. Like they come and speak to you, come and like help you out, and even though you're the one trying to get their position, like they were good as gold. Like they were brilliant with it.
Milner would still win fitness tests and whatnot in his 30s.
Yeah, he was. Well, do you know what? It's not coincidence as well. You see how hard he works.
Yeah.
Like I think he was living with the fitness coach at one point. So the fitness coach was there like till sort of 5 o'clock at night. All the other players had gone like at 12:30, and he'd just stay with the fitness coach. So he's always in the gym. He was constantly in the gym. He'd be getting there at 7 o'clock in the morning and just like grafting. And then he'd come out, and I seen the improvement in him as well. Like over time, seen the improvement in his game, and he was just adding more and more to his game.
How did he was?
Yeah, well, he used to be out and out winger, and then all of a sudden he adapted, and he was playing centre mid for us towards the end.
What about Ashley Young then? He struck me as a bit arsey, Ashley Young. I don't know, a lot of the time.
Nah.
His way.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but he was one of the jokers. Like he was one of the
Was it?
Yeah, him and Gabby. Like if those two were together, the thick as thieves. Like you was never safe. Like you was never safe. There was wet flying socks coming across the dressing room. There was all sorts going on.
Well, that's my next question. Who were the lads that were the pests, the menaces of the giant?
At that point, it was Gabby and Ash Young, and they were the two main ones. A lot of it would be aimed at Rio Coca though, Nigel Rio Coca.
Oh God,
Yeah. So, like, he was quite. Nigel's quite serious. He was quite a serious like player. Like he always did things right. Like he was captain basically. He made sure everything was in. So they'd like wind him up. Like they'd do things just to wind him up.
Because it was funny to watch.
Watch him react to it. So
wanting that.
yeah. So I thought, like then we had like Isaiah Osborne, who was like a younger player at the time, but he was getting involved with Ash and Gabby and that. And
I was going to ask, could you get involved, or was you a bit?
no, you have to bide your time.
Oh,
You have to bide your time. You don't speak until you're spoken to when you go up.
Yeah.
That was pretty much how it was. But then at the same time, you can't leave it too long before you actually start to express your personality as well, and you start to get involved, because if you do that, then people don't want to, like, I don't know, people won't take to you. So yeah, like be respectful and stuff, but you have to implement yourself on the group as well.
The coaches, I'm led to believe, quite strict. Is that the word, or I don't know? Sort of through the junior ranks.
Yeah, in the youth and reserve team, my two coaches, Tony McAndrew, Kev McDonald,
Kevin McDonald, that's
Yeah.
the bird of, yeah.
they were, looking back now, like I was going home like crying. Like, I was going back to digs crying my eyes out in my bedroom some days, because it was that, like, there was that hard on you.
Not just you.
No, everyone.
Everyone.
Like, but there were certain times I felt it was personal. Like I felt I was being targeted. But you know, looking back now, not even just now, like once I'd got in the first team and got out of their team, basically, I look back and I think,
yeah,
you were unbelievable for me.
And you'll swallow that back, because I think, are they in that position so they set you up
100%.
ready for, you know, what you've got to sort of...
You go into a football dressing room and like people call it banter or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's brutal. Like it's fully brutal. Like it's so, you have to be so thick-skinned. Like, because and they used to say, if you can't take it from me, like, what, you're going to be like in front of 40, 50,000? Like, like how you can take it, there. And at the time you think, what? Like, but
Do you remember the first time I hammered someone? Just sort of like, you thought, like, I'm going for it.
what, me?
You personally, like, just got involved in my bust of it where you thought, and it went well more to the point, because I can imagine sometimes you, and they look at you. I mean, what were some of the other lads like in there, but you had some monsters in there, didn't you?
Yeah, see, I weren't really like, I'd get involved. I'd be sort of like a little bit, I'd be more of like, I'd chuck the grenade in and just sort of take a step back and watch it unfold, where I'd like try and stitch someone up. But yeah, I think no matter what, you'll always get like people want to, like in a dressing room, people want to see that. They want to see like someone like stitch someone up or someone like have someone off. So it'll always go down well. Not with necessarily with a person that you're doing it to, but it'll always go down well in the group. So even if somebody was coming for you, like you're not going to win that battle because everyone's jumped on it. Like,
So you just got to ride it out.
You just got to ride it out. You've got to ride it out and laugh it off, and then 20 minutes later, it'll be on someone else.
And you laugh.
Yeah, and it's relentless. Like in certain dressing rooms we've had, it's relentless. It's constant. But then you get to a certain stage, you get to a certain age where, and you get to, after you've done a bit in like first team or whatever, then the respect for you goes up, and less people will start sort of coming for you.
Or it rolls off a bit easier.
Yeah. You feel like you got a bit more credit to sort of give people a bit back.
Yeah. So in terms of your experience going into the Villa first team, who did you look up to?
I think the main one was Milner. I think Gareth Barry was another one, even though different position.
Yeah,
but
Megan career, didn't he, Gareth Barry?
Incredible. Like,
He's got the most games or something.
Yeah,
I've got to forget this.
He's got the most Premier League appearances. I think Milner will catch him. I think he's about 15, 16 games off him.
Yeah.
So I think he could catch him, but to have people like them, it was unbelievable to learn from. And you look at like where they went. Like obviously Milner went and won so many Premier Leagues with City.
Yeah.
So did Gareth Barry. Ashley Young went to Man United.
Yeah.
Won loads there. Stuart Downing went to Liverpool. Then we had like people like Christian Benteke go. They all went on to go on and make their name at massive clubs. So to have played with players like that, it like you could only learn. Like you could only learn from them.
So when did you make first performance? Your first appearance?
So I'd had a little bit of a taste of it in pre-season. Did well. We played a tournament in Andalusia, and we played Juventus in the final. Beat Juventus in the final on penalties. And there was like Del Piero was playing, and Buffon was in goal, and that was the first real taste of it. And I did really well in that tournament, and sort of that was when I think Martin O'Neill was the manager at the time, and that's when he sort of loves it and thought, right, here we go. But then my first competitive game I played was in the UEFA Cup away at CSKA Moscow.
At Moscow, yeah?
In Moscow, Luzhniki Stadium. And it was like -10.
Intimidating?
Nah, because it was, I think it was like a 90,000 seater stadium, and there was only about 30,000 there, so it didn't actually look that much.
Yeah.
So you had like a section of them. There was only a certain number of Villa fans as well. So it weren't really, but it was on like an artificial pitch. I think we lost 2-0, but I held my own, did okay, and there was me and Barry Bannon, who made our debuts that night, and like we both did well. But then I had to wait. Then I think that was in, I want to say that was in like the Feb, and then I had to wait till maybe the following season for my first start, and my first Premier League game, which was West Ham, first game of the season. And
how does it work? So the game's on a Saturday, I take it.
Yeah.
What was it, Thursday? You get a nudge or what?
Wow, it was quite strange leading up to this, because Martin O'Neill was in charge, and he was he really fancied me as a player, like his assistants did as well, and like there They was always trying to help me, giving me advice and coaching me. The week before the first game of the season, Martin O'Neill left because he had a disagreement with the club.
That was mental. Well, you don't have to say any more than that, but that was like, out in the public, that was sort of, what the fuck's going on now? 6th in the league?
Ronaldo had finished 6th the year before.
In that period.
So it got us into Europe and whatever. So anyway, because it was so close to the season, they didn't have time to get someone else in. So the reserve team manager took the game.
Okay.
So he obviously liked me from when I was in the reserves. Like, I got on really well with it.
It worked out for you.
So it was perfect for me. So he put me straight in. And I repaid him. I did well. Like, I think I got maybe 2 assists that day, won 3-0, I think it was. And then I just got my run in the team then and went from strength to strength.
Talk to me about the £20,000 goal.
Yeah, so played Arsenal. Played Arsenal at home. It was 1-0 down and I got slid through as 1-on-1 at the whole end, and I've put it through the keeper's legs, ran off celebrating, like, best feeling in the world.
Did you know that was the 20,000th goal?
No, not at this point.
Right.
Basically, I'd promised my mate had said it was my mate's birthday, and he says, "Can I get your top tonight? You can have your shirt." So I was like, "Of course you can." Like, not a problem. So then I've scored that goal. I've then gone in. We lost 2-1. We had a man sent off. I think Shavan scored last minute. So then I've gone into the tunnel and I've got pulled to one side straight away. There was right, you've scored the Premier League's 20,000th goal.
How old was you then? Still young.
Yeah, still young, maybe 22, 21.
No way.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, brilliant. It hadn't sunk you, had just lost the game. I was a bit dejected. So I've gone into the dressing room. The gaffer spoke to us. I've then got pulled out of there after the gaffer spoke to go and do interviews. So as I'm walking over to do the interview, the press officer's gone, "Look, you scored the 20,000th goal. You get £20,000. I was like, whoa, at 21.
Lads all walking out with glasses going all there.
Yeah, I'm thinking 20 grand here. I'd already spent it in my head. I've spent it already. I bought all sorts.
Yeah.
So with that, he's then gone, "But you've got to give it to a charity." So he was like, and the charity that we're associated to is Acorns Children's Hospital. That's exactly what I was like. I was like, yeah, of course. I've done that anyway.
Yeah, that's what anyway, yeah.
So then, I had to go do all the interviews surrounding it and stuff. And then obviously, I says to my mate, I said, "You can't have my top. Scored 20,000 for a year goal in that."
That's it. Yeah, you're right.
So had to do big presentation at Acorns Children's Hospice.
You two folding that check, squeezing it out. There you go. You're right, yeah.
But yeah, good memory to have.
It is, and again, like, it's such a landmark, isn't it? So in terms of the rest of your sort of career at Villa, where did it go from there? You know, just to sort of summarise, because obviously the things we're going to go on to are a bit more mental, aren't they, in terms of what happened and what you achieved?
Yeah, so I think it just I had a few years there. I left when I was 24.
And that's what?
It's... So I went on loan to Wigan. Had a month at Wigan. I'd been injured. I'd done my metatarsal, broke my metatarsal twice. The second time it was literally my first game back from it. So
sorry, was that so much to do with the boots back then? Because it was a fashionable.
I don't know. So mine was the first time it happened, I've twisted, and then it says I've gone to see a specialist in London. I didn't really know what a metatarsal was. I've got to be honest with you. But I knew something was wrong. So I've gone to see this specialist, and he was like, "You don't need an operation. There's a 3% chance that it'll happen again. The things that you'll do will strengthen it up in rehab." So come back, first game back was reserve team game at Hinckley, and I've jumped up, and as I've landed, I've turned and felt it go again. And that's when went for an operation, had a plate put in with screws and stuff. Coming back from that, it was a bit of a struggle, and couldn't really get it anywhere near the team. So I asked to go out on loan. Got sent to Wigan. There was Wigan and Derby, but Paul Lambert, who was manager at the time, wanted me to go to Wigan. So went to Wigan, loved it, had a month there. Owen Coyle was a manager. Yeah, and I just loved seeing, like, it was a smaller club and a real family club. So I loved it. I wanted to stay there for a bit longer, but Villa said, no, I want you back. Got a couple of injuries. You'll play. So I was thinking, okay, like, if I'm going to play, I'll go back. So I went back, played, and for the rest of that season then, felt like I was playing well. I was on good form, like, felt good, felt fit. And then all along that period, I was speaking to Paul Lambert, and my agent was speaking to the club, and because I knew my contract was up in the summer. So
Yeah.
I've said, like, what's happening contract wise? Like, my agent's trying to get in touch. Like, yeah. And Lambert was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, you're doing great for me. You're doing absolutely superb. Contract to look after itself. Like, just keep playing your football. And I had this conversation like 3 times, and my agent was getting the same thing, same sort of response. So then 2 days after the season finished, like, I remember, like, where I was and everything. I was around the corner from my mum's house, and I remember, like, my phone goes. It's my agent, and he says I've got some news, like, contracts, and he says it's not good news. He says they're not going to offer you anything. So I was like,
So just saying, Matt, I could still see the hurt in your
I was
eye.
relaxed. Yeah.
And that yeah.
It was.
See it, mate.
I was gutted. Like, I was devastated, because I didn't know, like, anything that my agent had been doing in the background, and I didn't see anywhere else other than Villa. I'd never really looked. Don't get me wrong, I'd enjoyed the loan spell, but I'd never seen anywhere else. And I thought anywhere is going to be a sort of downward step, backward step. So he assured me on the phone. He was like, look, I've been doing a bit of work. He says, we've got 4 or 5 clubs that are realistic. So he told me the clubs, and it was like, I think Hull, West Brom, can't remember one. And then there was Sunderland and Leicester. So Sunderland and Leicester, those are the 2 that I narrowed it down to. I think West Brom didn't have a manager. Hull weren't neither here nor there. So I spoke to Sunderland. Gus Poyet at Sunderland, had a good chat with him on the phone, and he was, like, selling the club to me. But I felt like that was too similar to Villa in terms of where it was in sort of transition. Like, they bought a lot of new players, weren't really a close-knit group. They had players on massive wages, they had players on not so big wages. And I knew there'd be a little bit of a divide in there. So then looked at Leicester, and obviously location as well, and I said, yeah, let's do Leicester. I think Sunderland were offering significant more money at the time as well, but I was like, no, like, Leicester's the right fit. Looked at the group of players, and I thought I'm more suited to that.
Sorry to ask that question, mate, and I don't know if you knew that was coming, because it's a tough one for you. That I could see that was tough for you, and I think that again alludes to your mental strength, because you must have had to really sort of reset there, and I suppose you must have had the right people around you to say, look, I know it hasn't worked out, because obviously boyhood club and all the rest of it must have been hard.
I think that's one thing, and I'll probably touch on this later, but one thing that I've always had is good people around me. I've always had a good circle. And that really helped in that period, because the first year at Leicester as well, when I signed for Leicester, it wasn't easy either. I got injured in the last pre-season game, and then never started a game for probably until April, maybe March, April time.
Yeah.
So, like, late on in the season. So I played little bit parts. Other days I weren't in the squad. We was losing. We was bottom at Christmas. We was dead and buried. So
if you were worried, that's sorry.
I was all over the place.
No,
because then all of a sudden, like, in my contract, it was like your wages like slashing half. All of a sudden, I'm in the Championship. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, I think we just moved house at the time, and I was thinking, what happens now? Like, and it was out of my control. Everything was out of my control because I weren't playing. So anyway, like as that season went on, and we ended up winning, I think it was 7 out of the last 9 games to stay in the league, which was incredible. And I'd been playing as well, playing well, and yeah, just like finish the season brilliant. All of a sudden you're on a high.
Yeah, you're part of something that's not necessarily you haven't achieved anything, but it's the feel good thing, and it's ready to go next year, isn't it?
It felt like a bit like a trophy. The way we celebrated was at Sunderland away, funnily enough. But like the way we celebrated after was like we'd won something.
Yeah, I know about that with Blues, obviously. Okay, so the season after.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we carried a lot of momentum on from that previous season.
Many coming.
Not loads, no. We had a couple. I think Christian Fuchs might have signed that season.
Yeah.
Who's the other ones? Obviously Kante.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed. So there weren't loads, no. I think.
Also had that Kante over, like, is it him in the mini and all that business stuff? He's just dead down to eyes and the nicest guy. He's old, like he's just smiling constantly. Like it's like you'll go and shake his hand in the morning. He'll be like happy to see you. Like he's just that kind of guy. You feel like he's come from maybe really humble beginnings.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And he recognises that as well. You don't forget that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we carried the momentum. Obviously, Ranieri had got the job, and he come in and like didn't really change too much. He recognised the group that he had, and he just sort of balanced it all out. Like obviously, I was on the left, Riyad was on the right, but because Riyad was so attacking and probably didn't do his defensive stuff, he put me on the left just to balance things off a little bit because he knew I'd sort of get back, fill in. So at times I was like, there was 3 of us in the middle. It was me, Danny Drinkwater and Kante, and then you 3 up top with Riyad, Okazaki and Vards. So it worked well, and the balance that he had put in the team was just worked perfectly for us. And the way we played defensively, we were strong, and then going forward we just had the quality with Vards, Riyad, Shinji. Like everyone complimented each other.
At the start of the season, what's the aim?
Stay in the league. Yeah, stay in the league. We thought we could. Like people writ us off. Like Ranieri gets a job. We was like favourites to go down, but we as a group we thought we could stay in the league. We didn't think we never thought, oh, we're going to be right up against it here. Like, we knew we'd be in a battle, but we were confident we had enough to stay in the league.
Yeah, and what got on you must get the masses every single time you sit down with someone. At what point did you think, hang on, we might be in? I mean, I suppose it's actually Europe, isn't it? You start thinking about top 6.
Yeah, so we played. Can't remember who we played, but we was on the plane on the way back. Might have been Sunderland again. Actually, we'd scored 2 late goals. Vards 2-0. But was on the plane on the way back, and Tottenham were playing against Man United. So if Tottenham win, then that guarantees us Champions League football for the following season. But on the flip side of that, it puts them 3 points closer to us, who was at the top of the league. Okay. So we was a little bit like, what do we want here? Do we want this guaranteed, or do we want a bit of breathing space at the top?
Yeah.
So anyway, we then got on the plane on the way back from Sunderland, and obviously no Wi-Fi. We didn't have a clue what was going on. We didn't know the score. I think when we took off, Tottenham had gone 1-0 up, and then that was it. Then
was that the game where Bale ruined them? Can't remember. No, that was hard.
I didn't watch it.
Like I say, I think that there was a game where like Man U were expected to win with the consequences involved, etc., and it just went completely wrong.
Yeah, probably was that one.
But yeah.
But so we we got off the plane. Tottenham had won, so we weren't guaranteed. So we were guaranteed Champions League football.
Yeah.
So I've gone home that night and I was like on top of the world, like playing the Champions League next year. But then at the same time, I was like, there's a lot of work to still be done to win this league.
Yeah.
So, but I think, in answer to your question, I think there's two times where I actually sat back and thought, yeah, we've got half a chance here. The one was we played Man City away. We beat Man City 3-1 and like obliterated them. Like we battered them. Walking off the pitch, the whole of the Etihad stood up like applauding us off, and often walking off the pitch, we never felt goosebumps like it. Also, it was incredible. So that was probably the one, and that's when what everyone speaks about. But for me, the following week, then we played Arsenal away. We actually lost the game. It was 1-0 up. Then they scored. Then Danny Simpson got sent off, and then they score in like the 94th minute, and the Emirates absolutely erupted. Like it was like they had just won the league. Then we got on the bus after, and there's like big dressing room selfie of them, and we're looking at this thinking, what on earth is going on here? They've just beat Leicester. They've just beat Leicester, and we're seeing this. So that gave us a little bit of something. And then the manager had said, because it was international break the week after, the manager had said, look, lads, he had promised us if we won 3 out of 3, so it was Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal, 3 in a row. He says, if you win all 3, you can have the week off. So, beat Liverpool at home.
Was that the goal with the Vardy over the time?
Yeah.
And what did he remind me? The run he went on, he scored, was
11 in 11. Yeah, it was...
It all happened, didn't it? That
it was stupid.
mental. Yeah.
So, beat Liverpool, beat Man City, and then like beat Arsenal, we get a week off. Obviously we lost, but we've come in, like Claudio says, lads, like, can't fault you. Like, cannot fault your effort. You was brilliant today, you've been brilliant last few weeks. Have the week off. So got the week off, and everyone just went here, there and everywhere, just got away from all the noise.
What did you
all the pressure. I think I went away, I can't remember where I went. I think I went away, took the kids and that away.
Yeah.
And just sort of switched off from football.
It's really hard to do that.
So hard.
Yeah.
But after a couple of days, like you do, like, obviously kids, like you're running around, like you.
Yeah.
So then got back and we went and won, I think, the next 6 games, 1-0, like 1 up on 1.
Maybe clever by the club then, giving you the...
So clever. I think that's a masterclass for Claudio to give us that time off to refresh, and from then on we just take anyone on.
You know, you go into the story like that, you know, I didn't know about the week off, but it's those little bits that might have been the difference, definitely, and yeah, it's like I say, it's very shrewd. Vardy, what was he like? Because what is he like? Because you know, the stories, he has 3 Red Bulls a day, and he's sort of on that. He's still almost like a I don't know, lower league player in many respects, to the way he looks after himself.
It's very difficult to describe as a person, but
Yeah.
is an incredible lad, incredible footballer. One of my best mates. I've grew up with him, like sat next to him in the dressing room for 10 years, and
Really?
sit next to him on the bus, and he's been great with me, great with my kids, and that. He's got that side to him, but you know, when he's on the pitch, he just, something just comes over him, and he goes at it, like just he's not bothered by anyone. Like I think it's a great attitude to have. Like, I'm probably too far the other way.
Yeah.
Him, and he just does not care. He don't care what anyone says about him. Don't care what anyone thinks about him. He's got his own routine.
Exactly. When you're like that to some, and they're all walking behind him, the opposition players, and he don't kick him out. He just laughs, and he's just sort of like, a bit, I suppose, would you say? Mental.
Yeah. He's just like one of the lads. Like,
Yeah.
just go for a drink with him. Just have a laugh with him.
Yeah.
But
Good trainer.
terrible trainer. Terrible trainer.
Terrible, yeah.
Honestly, got the one story. I think I seen Wes. I think it was Wes Morgan mentioned it on a podcast the other week. Claude Puel was our manager, and it weren't great. Like this period of my career or just the club in general weren't great, and Vards, like Claude Puel, always try and sort of keep Vards at a certain level. Like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. He was French, and they've got a different way of doing things.
You did like the rogue element.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's the one day. So you got sent these boots, so you wear the new colourway, whatever Nike or Adidas send you.
Yeah.
You have to wear them boots. So he was with Adidas. Adidas sent him these Spider-Man looking boots. So he said Claude Puel had said something to him about his Spider-Man boots and said it a couple of times. And Bart just thought, if I want Spider-Man, he can have Spider-Man. So we walked out to training, and Vards has come out in this full morph suit of like Spider-Man, and he's gone stood behind the hedge like just before about to warm up. So then like the manager's walking out, the manager of the football club, he's walking out, Vards has just jumped out, going like he's in this Spider-Man outfit, and like lads were in bits, like, and I'm just sat there thinking, this is the manager of the football club.
Did you witness that kind of stuff a lot? Yeah, so because obviously everyone knows about the crazy gang and all that kind of business that you about clothes being burnt and stuff like that. Was there ever some stuff where you were like, this is a bit hot, this is a bit on top, I don't know if I can handle this?
Yeah, a bit of both really. There were certain things that happened in training, there's certain things that happen off the pitch, good and bad. Like we've had some incredible times, like people won't see it. Obviously everything has to be kept under wraps nowadays because of like if it gets out, whereas crazy gang days, like whatever happened like was out there and everyone was like on board with it, whereas now some of the things that happen can't get released. Yeah, exactly. But like even down to, that's nothing really, but down to after if we played on a Tuesday night at the King Power, there'd be 5 or 6 of us that didn't really like live local enough to warrant going home after the game, getting back silly o'clock, to then come back to Leicester the next day for a recovery session. So we'd go to a hotel, and we'd just be up like chatting, drinking, stories coming out, a bit of music on, and those would be some of my best nights, because after a game when adrenaline's high and like you've just had the pressure of like a big Premier League game or a big FA Cup game, Champions League game, everyone's like uptight before, and then it's after the game, everyone just goes like, everything just comes out of you. So you're so relaxed on them nights, and like I say, they're some of the best nights I've had with some of the greatest lads that I've met in football. And these are the things that that's a footballer's release, if you like stuff like that.
You'd say you've missed out on that to a degree in terms of that's normality really, isn't it? Just going having a drink, having a chat with your pals. But that was great.
That's what I say. It's nothing really. Like to the outside, it's probably nothing.
Yeah.
But for us, that was everything. Like before the game, lads be like, "You staying over tonight?" Yeah, staying over. Yeah, right. We've got 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
So it'd be stuff like that. But then, like I say this, but every sort of end of season, I was lucky enough at Leicester. Like our owners, absolutely incredible. Like the best people in the world, and they'd always take us away end of season, and that was our release. Like that was when we'd go like Thailand, we'd go south of France, and like just do different things. Like we'd have about 3, 4, 5 days where everyone would be together, season's done, so everyone can just let their hair down. And those trips I wouldn't have experienced what I did on them trips if I hadn't have been a footballer, because some of the stuff that happens there is just incredible. Like it's amazing.
You look at it, what other career can you have whereby you've done what you love for the club you love, you retired at 30,
34.
34. You've got ages. You've got a whole other lifetime ahead of you, and you know, obviously all the resources to do what you want to do now, and it's such a fortunate position to be in. But that's where those sacrifices. You look back and think, no
Yeah.
issue with that.
Well, like I say, I never seen them as sacrifices when I was younger. But now I look back and I think I haven't actually missed out on anything, because the experience that I've had in football, whether that be on the pitch, off the pitch, are some that, like, I tell my mates sometimes, like, about like different things, and they're like, can't believe what's gone on. And I'm just, it's the best, like, the memories that I've got through football, like, I wouldn't swap for anything.
The comment you made to me earlier in the week when we spoke, one of your, your happiest times, right now is when you get home, you shut the door, you don't live near anyone you necessarily know, and it's just you, and you're happy with your kids and that, and so simple. But do you believe that you're kind of that way now because of, you alluded to earlier, these people that have been around you over the years and the upbringing you've had and all the rest of it?
Yeah, so I think,
Seems like a calm lifestyle.
yeah, it's probably a more personal thing now, but I think for me, I reckon throughout my career, I've probably had a small amount of like social anxiety, like going out, because,
Yeah, I understand.
and I don't say that lightly, like I get what people suffer with, but going out, you constantly feel like you're being stared at or talked about, and like you go out for a meal and people are talking to you, or people are staring at you while you're eating, and I've always just thought, it's not worth it. It's not worth going out. Like,
Yeah.
that's more time where I just want to be away. Like, I've never really been one to get caught up in like the big lights of being a footballer and the celebrity lifestyle. I've always just wanted to sort of keep myself to myself, be humble with like my family and friends. So it weren't worth it sometimes, and I think now, like now, for example, like I probably struggle to go out on my own anywhere. Like, I speak to people and they go, "Oh, we're going on like a solo holiday, or we're going like out for lunch on my own," or, and
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it,
Right.
because I just feel like when you're on your own, you're more approachable. Like, people will approach you more, and there's a part of me that I don't want to talk about football. You just don't want to speak about it.
I was met you the other day, earlier on. Joe Stansfield was walking past the other day. He'd been to pick up the keys, but he's on for Blues. And I ran over to him and he looked petrified.
You are, because you're thinking,
I'm an uppy bastard, I know that. And I've gone up to him, and he just looked like, sort of like that. And I thought, whoa.
yeah. But I think that's how it does make you think like that, because you can see them staring, and then like they'll have another look, and then like you could walk past someone in the street, and then all of a sudden you can just sense like they've told me, "Oh, it's so and so." Like, you probably overhear them say your name, but I'll just like carry on walking, and I don't know what that is. I just like, I feel like I just don't want to speak about it, but yeah. So I actually enjoy and I've always done it really. Like, I just enjoy going home, like say, close that door, get me log fire on. Used to be a cup of tea, now it's a glass of wine.
You really are retired, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm done. I just enjoy bit of peace and quiet, enjoy a bit of TV, like I bit of cooking, and just like on my street, I've just got like my neighbours are great, like they're just superb, like they won't bother me, won't hassle me. It's great, like I love it.
Well, what's led to that is the retirement. So what, oh God, how hard was that, making that decision?
Not that big it was.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I reckon I made my mind up at the end of last season, like leading up to the end of last season. Was on course to win the championship, and so we got promotion, then won the championship, and in my head I was just going, right, that's me done. So I was thinking, I'll leave it I won't say anything. I'll leave it over the summer. If any interest, like my agent had retired as well the season before, so I had to find a new agent just for this period. So
How long had he been with you, that agent?
since I was 16.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like really close with it. So I had to find a new agent, found this new agent, had a conversation, and I just thought I'll leave it over the summer, and if anything comes up that that really like excites me, then I'll have a look at it. And everything that come up, I was just like, no, I don't fancy it. I don't fancy it.
Saudi?
So I had interest from Saudi, a couple in America, India, Turkey, and then obviously like there was one in the Premier League, a few in the Championship. Yeah. So the interest was there, but everything I was just going, no, I don't want to do it. And then like so in my head, all I'm thinking is, why would I want to go and do that when I've had to graft and graft and graft all, like for all of my adult life, and now I've got an opportunity now where I can just spend so much time with my children, and like my personal circumstances, they'd changed. So I was like, I need this time with my kids. I've missed out on birthdays, Christmases, like school plays, nativities, like all of this stuff that should be a given as a parent, really. But, and I wouldn't, don't get me wrong, I say this, and I wouldn't go back, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself, I wouldn't go back and change it, like, because I'd do it all over again. I've now got an opportunity to be on call for my kids, basically. Like whenever my kids need me, if they want running somewhere, if they want to do a show that like they want me to go, birthdays, Christmases, I'm there for it all, and that for me is the best feeling in the world.
I was going to say, you know, you've had what you'd call an absolutely amazing career. You played for your boyhood club, won the Premier League. It's good in the Champions League as well, which we haven't touched on. If the Premier League kind of took over there, and you retired when you wanted to retire. It's kind of perfect, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that was another thing I was conscious of as well, like dragging it out, like, and maybe an injury taking its toll, or like dropping down the leagues and losing that credibility that you get. And I looked and I thought, so my eldest daughter should be 13 in Feb, and I feel like I've missed quite a lot of her development. Like I see how she is now. She's like this like woman, basically.
Yeah, got one.
Yeah. So my youngest is 6, so I'm thinking I wanna see them years. I feel like that's just gone in an instant.
I'm visiting with my daughter as well, sorry Mark, but your eldest daughter, you know, obviously when you're at school and that, my dad's this model. I mean, she's got quite a strong hand to play, and does she know what you've done? Because obviously it's been over a long period, hasn't it?
She does, yeah, she does. I think she uses it to her advantage on the odd occasion, but then I feel like I'm the embarrassing dad still. Like it don't change anything. So where was we? We was walking somewhere. She was like, "Oh, can you just?" I took her to the train station to go to school, and she was like, "I says, right, I'm coming with you." It's the first time she'd been on the train. Her friend was there, and that first time she'd been on the train. So I says, "Well, I'll come and I'll come up to the ticket office with you. I'll get your ticket and I'll watch you get on the train." And she was like, "No, you can't do that." So I was like, "What?" I said, "What do you mean, no?" I said, "Of course I can." And she was like, "No, all my friends." And I was like, "No, I'm doing it. Like, regardless, I'm doing it." She was like, "Can you stand the other side of the platform?"
You've got to creep up the upper.
Yeah. She was like, "Can you stand the other side of the platform, like down the platform?" And I was like, "Okay, like we'll compromise on that." But yeah, so I'm still the embarrassing dad. But yeah, I love it. Like, I think when you get kids, it's a different. You have a different mentality, and you do. And for me, like, I've had a chapter of my life where I've achieved my dreams and loved every second of it. Now I'm in a new chapter, and I'm sat here now, and I can't wait for it. I'm excited.
To see your career sat in with me, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's next, mate?
I think initially it's just trying different things. I think sussing things out. So I tried a bit of coaching, didn't really get on with it. Trying the media stuff, love the media stuff, like do bits and pieces of that, whether it's the radio, the TV. Really enjoying doing that. Obviously, time with the kids. I want my own diary, so I don't want to be tied down to anything, because I want to be able to do whatever it is that the kids need me for.
So do you have a PA or anything like that?
No, I just, I've got like a media manager now that he'll sort of get me the jobs, and he'll just get in touch with me, say, do you fancy doing this? And I'll be like, is this all
going to bill me?
Yeah, you'll get an email off him. So, like, I think short term it's that.
Yeah.
I think it's important as well when you come out of, especially when you go into retirement so young. Everyone I've spoke to that's been in this situation, like footballers that have retired, have said you need routine. Like, routine is crucial.
I was going to ask you this question. Is there anything in place, or do you get offered anything automatically as the way of support from going from Premier League footballer into, well, not a footballer, in terms of mental support or anything like that?
Nothing. No, I don't know. Do you
The leadership there? You're a strong-minded geezer. You've already said that. You know, getting strong-minded the whole way through your career. But there's some people that do, aren't they? And
no, I agree. Like, I was chatting to one of my friends who retired about the same time as me, maybe a bit before. Like, he didn't really play for the last sort of year or two, and he took it really bad. Like, he took it really bad, and he's had some bad experiences over the last couple of years. And even now, like, I chat to him and he says, I'd give anything to be back playing. Like, that's who I am. Like, that was me. For me, I'm sat here thinking I couldn't think of anything worse than getting back on a football pitch professionally.
over the wild wreck.
Over the wild wreck, yeah. I'm settled. Like, I've made, I think, like, spoke about my circle of people. I sat down with the people that I trust, the people that matters. I've always had this circle of people, and I sat down and explained what I was thinking. I got their opinions on it, and then it was pretty unanimous, and that was what then said, right, it's time to announce it. And
making the right decision.
Yeah,
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Final questions. Fondest memory in football?
Winning the Premier League.
Obvious. The one thing then, this is my last question, the one thing that you've got in your head that you want to do moving forward from a project point of view or an achievement point of view that you're seriously thinking about?
So it'd be hard to say something specific because I don't know what road I'm gonna take yet.
You're not going to be a manager then?
No, definitely not. But what I will say is, I've realised my dreams of what I dreamt when I was younger. I'm only 35. I don't want that to be the pinnacle of my life. Like, I want to go on and I'm ambitious. Like, I've always been ambitious. So I want to reach big goals. I don't know what the goals are yet. I haven't set them. But whatever they are, I want to go and achieve just as much as I have in the last sort of 30.
So you're not getting with your rocking chair in front of the fire?
No. I will do that occasionally, but I can't sit still. I got for long periods. I need to have an aim. I need to have something to work towards. And that could be something totally different to football, or it could be something that's involved in football. I don't know, but I don't want to just like go out now and live the rest of my life having just done what I've achieved in the last sort of 35 years. I want to progress and I want to achieve a lot more.
Good stuff. Listen, second episode, thanks so much for coming out. It means a lot, mate, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.